Hello, welcome again. We are covering the topic centrifugal compressor for civil services means IFS and gate aerospace law. And in this we have subtopic design of compressor, and we are doing it through examples. So here we started question number 1 and solved part A and part B of it. Now we'll solve C part in this video. So that is to estimate the axial depth of the impeller channel at the periphery of the channel. So this is your impeller and this is the periphery of impeller, and perpendicular to the page there will be axial depth because this is the axis of the shaft and this will be your axial depth. So if we consider the area at the periphery of the impeller, then we have a velocity perpendicular to that area is radial velocity. So that is at the exit of impeller. So suppose it is CR2. Okay. So then we have air flow rate in meter cube per second is area into CR2, and if we multiply it by density here, then we will get mass flow rate, and mass flow rate is your 9. Okay. So now we don't have here CR2. Okay, and we also don't have this axial depth. So here what we will do, and we don't have density here also. Okay. So what we will do, we will do first this CR2. So here at the inlet the air is entering actually, and it changes its direction in the radial direction, and it is assumed that this axial velocity and this radial velocity remains constant throughout the impeller. Okay. So so as to avoid separation. So first thing what we will do, we will assume that CR2 at the exit of the impeller is equal to CA1. That we have calculated, that is 143 meter per second. So now if we look at the velocity diagram, so this is your inlet velocity diagram, this is your CA1, and this is your outlet velocity diagram. So this will become CR2. Initially it was axial, now it is radial. So CR2, and this is your CW2, and this is your U, and this is your C2. So now we can calculate this C2 also. Now our purpose is to calculate next thing, that is density. This velocity we have assumed, that is CR2 is equal to CA1. Okay. So now I will look for density. So for that we will calculate this CW2. So CW2 is your sigma U. So that is 0.9 into 445.5 total 10 meter. Okay. And now this is the dynamic temperature at the exit of, because velocity, absolute velocity at the exit is C2. So C2 square by 2 C2 is your dynamic temperature at the exit of, or at the periphery of impeller. Okay. So that will be at 143 square plus 410 square divided by 2 divided by 105. So that will be 93.8. Okay. So now it is given that the total efficiency is given as 78%. So here total efficiency is given as 78%. So it means if the efficiency is 78%, so then 22% are losses. So we will assume that half of the losses are occurring in the impeller and half are occurring in diffuser. Okay. So it means 11 if efficiency is 78%, then losses would be 22%. So 11% losses are occurring in impeller, and 11% losses are occurring in diffuser. Which means efficiency of impeller is your 1 minus 0.11, or 100 minus 11, that is 89%. Okay. So half of the losses are occurring in impeller and half in diffuser. So assume that half of total losses, that is 0.51 minus this efficiency is your losses, total losses. Half is multiplied by 0.5, that will give 0.11 occurs in impeller and half in diffuser. Okay. So then effective efficiency from the impeller inlet to impeller outlet will be 0.9. Okay. So now we have calculated pressure ratio from the formula. We have calculated pressure ratio in the first exam from the formula, that is P03 by T01, that is T03 dash by T01 is for gamma minus gamma 1. Further we modified it to this. Okay, so now this is your cycle efficiency T03 minus T01, and is your temperature increase, total temperature is increased. So in a diffuser there is no energy added, so stagnation temperature remains constant, so T03 will be equal to T02. Okay, so now we will take this. So T02 minus T01 and T03 minus T0, T02 minus T01 will be same, because T02 is equal to T03. Okay, so that T02 minus T01 will be your one density. Now the impeller part efficiency is 0.89 and this T01 is your 295. That is given using the same formula, but here we are taking the impeller part only. Okay, so here using this formula, but here we are taking impeller part only, and so we are taking the efficiency of impeller part, and here we are taking the pressure ratio in the impeller part, so that is P02 by P01. Okay, so the same formula, so it will give 1.582 report 3.5. So now we can calculate this T02 also, because T02 minus T01 or T03 minus T01 is your 193 and T01 is 295, so T02 is your 488 Kelvin. So if we subtract this dynamic temperature from T02, then it will be static temperature at the exit of the impeller. Okay, so that will be your 394.2 Kelvin. Okay, so now we have, suppose we want to calculate the ratio of static pressure to transition pressure, so that we can also calculate by isentropic relation, that is T2 by T02 report gamma by gamma maximum, that will be 3.5. So this T2 is known now, T02 is known. Okay, so P2 by P02 can be calculated. So now P2 by P02 is known, P02 by P01 is known, so P2 by P01 can be calculated. So if we know this P2 by P01 and P01 is 1.1 bar, so P2 we can be calculated. The purpose is to calculate T2 and P2. Okay, so that we can calculate density at the exit. Now main purpose is to calculate density. Density is the rho 2 P2 by RT2, so that will be a 2.28 kilogram per meter cube. Okay, so now we have mass flow as 9, rho 2 is 2.28 and CR2 143. We can calculate area at the impeller exit, so that is 0.0276 meter square. So now depth can be calculated, that is area by pi d, diameter is 0.5, because total area is pi d into depth. So depth is your area by pi d, that will be 0.0176 meter or 1.76. Okay, so reading out this, the shape of the impeller channel between eye and tip is very much a matter of trial and error. The aim is to obtain as uniform a change of flow velocity up to the channel possible, avoiding local deceleration of the trailing phase of the race, which might lead to flow separation. To calculate the required depth of the impeller channel at the periphery, we must make some assumptions regarding both radial component of velocity at the tip and the division of forces between impeller and diffuser, so that the density can be calculated. The radial component of velocity will be relatively small and can be chosen by designer. A suitable value is obtained by making it approximately equal to actual velocity at the inlet of eye. To estimate the density at the impeller tip, the static pressure and temperature are found by calculating absolute velocity at the average point, this velocity, in conjunction with the stagnation pressure, which is calculated from the assumed losses up to this point. This part we have. So this is your part C.